we're going to go over some of the key features of ActionHub. It's a big platform. There's a lot you can do. It's really powerful. So we're not going to go into crazy detail on every single thing you can do. It's really more just some of the key features to get you started. So the first place you'll go when Tish gives you the link, the first thing you'll see here is this home page. I'm just gonna dive right in. And the most important thing to note about this page is the join button in the top right hand corner. So you'll see a little bit of a welcome, some recent blog posts, some featured resources, but go ahead and hit join in the top right corner, and you're going to see it's just a standard form, just like everything else that you've signed up for. The one thing we do want everyone to know, while we do ask for your address, we want to emphasize that it's private. So we only use this to help you find local teams and local team members near you. No one can actually see your address, whether they're public or even if they create an account. No one can actually see your address. I'll go into a little bit more detail about how you can find teams near you or team members near you. But again, we just wanted to emphasize that your address is never going to be shown to anyone. But so once you get done registering, you'll see a page that's actually like this. It takes you to a welcome page. It just welcomes you to the ActionHub. But the main place that you'll want to go after here is your dashboard. This blue bar right here is a navigation. This is how you're going to interact with every aspect of the ActionHub. And the dashboard is kind of your go-to. So we'll go ahead and click on dashboard. That's our go-to of where most of our information can be populated from. So you'll see there's announcements, there's the latest blog posts that we'll write, any events that you have RSVP'd to will be shown here. Recent threads in our discussion forums are here. If you are part of a team, then that information will be shown here. If you're not part of a team, there's an invitation for it. But a really important block that you all should notice is the Get Started block here on the right-hand side. These are just a few different things that we think are kind of the best way to get involved in the ActionHub. That's finding a team or finding your current team if you're already part of one, getting your profile set up, joining in some of the discussions that we have, and then logging some actions. And this Get Started block is something that will be on your dashboard for a week. So even if you complete all the tasks, it'll stay there for a week, just to remind you of all the most important things to do. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is finding a team, because that's what we are, what we care a lot about. So if you click on Find Your Team, that will take you to the Teams page. You'll also see this option here in the navigation bar under Teams. These core pages that we've highlighted from the dashboard are all going to have this introductory block at the very top. This kind of gives you a little bit more information about the Teams page and explains different types of teams. So once you've done and read through that, you can go ahead and click on this Dismiss button, and that'll get rid of that block. If you're not part of a team, you'll see this kind of introduction about what teams are, and it gives you the ability to kind of find your local team. For those of you that might not have a team in your area that are shown on this section, here's an invitation where you can fill out this form and sign up for a webinar to get in touch with Tish about possibly building a team in your area. So for this demo, I'm going to go ahead and just join the Charlottesville team. That's where I am. If you're not part of a team, you're just going to see a really, really small amount of information, some recent team activity, but you can click this Join button directly under the team name. So everyone who's part of a team will go find their team, hit Join, and then you'll see you kind of be unlocked all of the information of the team. So you'll see recent team discussions that pertain directly to that team. You'll see any upcoming team events. And then once the actual team leaders get in, right now Tish and our communications director are the team leaders, but once the actual team leaders get in, they will be populated here as well. So it's important to notice you're going to see a whole nother set of navigation right here at the bottom. So that's different than the global navigation at the top. The teams kind of have their own to navigate through. So we'll touch on these real quick. The discussions inside the teams, there are 5 different discussion categories within teams. General discussions is here, this kind of main block that kind of defaults to. It's kind of a welcome to the ActionHub. You see this one that Tish has posted. Then you'll see other discussions here, team member introductions, any info that might be about team meetings, any local organizing for Charlottesville, and then especially since Charlottesville is doing a solar schools campaign, the local solar schools campaign for Charlottesville. So just important to note that there are general discussions thread here, and then if you want to, for instance, if you want to introduce yourself, you would click on the team member introductions, and that would take you into that discussion category. So that's discussions at the team level. We'll also, you can see members here. You can see all the members that are part of that team. You'll see events that are specific to that team. These are different than events that will be global. You'll see resources that are specific to that team, and you can add resources. Same with events, you can add resources. If you want to direct message your team, that's how you would do that through here. And then for whatever reason, if you wanted to leave your team, you can do so on the settings page. You can click the leave team button. I'm going to do that since I'm not actually a part of the Charlottesville team. I'm a staff member. So that's teams. So highly encourage you to dive into that. There's a whole lot there. It's really powerful, but that's kind of just a brief overview of what teams is like. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the dashboard. And you'll see that my find your team action item has kind of been checked off. That's because I dismissed that block. So we'll go through to our next one, which is setting up your profile. We really, really encourage you guys to set up your profile. And that means changing your profile photo, filling out the profile fields. It really helps. Statistics show that it really helps with engagement on discussion forums. If you have a question or some advice, people are much more likely to respond to you and to help you out if you have, say, a profile photo or some more information on your profile. So this is the profile page. You can access it through that link on your dashboard or under this connect dropdown on the very far right-hand side. There's a few options here, but the one called view profile is the one that would actually take you to your profile page. Just like on the Teams page, there's this introduction block, kind of gives you some information about your profile. And once you've read through that, you can go ahead and hit the dismiss box, the dismiss button, and that will get rid of that box. So this is your profile. There's your profile photo on the left. This isn't an actual profile. So there's this avatar here, but you can change that by clicking on this image or clicking the change profile link. Again, we highly encourage you to personalize this to your heart's content. You'll see the address, phone number, some information about me, programs I'm interested in, all of this information that you can find. Again, your address is not on the, is not ever shown, but you can edit this profile and fill out some of this information by clicking the edit profile button. And you'll see here, this is a subgeneration 180's address. It's not actually shown on your profile. But we really do encourage you to fill out the about me and some of the programs you're interested in. This kind of helps people connect with other people that are like-minded. I'll show you what I mean by trying to connect with people near you. In that same drop-down where the view profile is, that's also where our member directory is. The member directory shows all the Generation 180 volunteers, who they are. And if you're trying to find people, especially for those that aren't part of a team yet, if you're trying to find people that are near you to maybe start a new team, then you can do so by this filter. So within, the closest you can get is within 5 miles of the center of your zip code. And you can see I put in my zip code and I see the team member or the ActionHub members that kind of populate within that. So that's kind of the main point of putting in that address, is just so that people can connect with people that are close regionally and geographically to them. So that's profile and the member directory. Those are really two great features of the Action Hub. I'm going to click on dashboard again here, the very far left of the navigation menu, and you'll see that setup profile has been checked off. The next thing we're going to talk about is the discussions. This is my favorite part of the Action Hub. Really allows you to connect with others and spread ideas and get insight and advice. Clicking on that discussions link will take you here to the discussions page. You can also access that right here in the navigation bar under discussions. So like every other page, the first time you get to it, you're going to see this little intro block. Kind of tells you about the discussions page. The one thing I want to talk a little bit about is the community guidelines. So just like in any other discussion or forum or social media site, just be polite and kind to each other. Please read over the community guidelines. This forum is moderated, so you are able to report posts if you think someone has gone a little astray, but we're all polite people here, so just please adhere to those community guidelines, and you can hit dismiss to hide that box. This is really similar to the Teams discussions page. The only thing is that this main block is a recent threads block, so you'll see all the recent posts that people have done, and then you can kind of drill down a little bit more and figure out what you might want to ask for advice for, or ask a question, or kind of give advice or insight. Right now there's organizing strategies, solar schools, keep it cool, and energy aware lifestyle. I'll just kind of poke into here, and you can see a few people have already asked, like, hey, what are some ways I can reduce my idle load? So any thoughts you have on that you can give to them, or if you have any questions, we really encourage you to go ahead and start populating this by clicking the new thread button, especially when we launch this to the public to make it publicly available. We really want them to feel like this is a place they can come to get more energy aware, to kind of understand how they can spread the movement and be a part of an energy aware community. So that's the discussions page, definitely my favorite. Love the capabilities of this. The next thing we're going to talk about, I'll go back to the dashboard. I think going back to the dashboard is a great place to kind of get you grounded. And the last step is take action under the Get Started block. So I'll click on Take Action. You can also find this in the Actions tab under the navigation right here. Just like all of our other pages, we have an introductory block to the Actions page. Please read that. It kind of gives you an overview, but this is where you would, anytime you might write a letter to the editor, or meet with a local leader, or actually secure a commitment for a solar schools campaign, whatever it may be, this is where you log that action. That can be something as small as a blog post that you get published, and as big as actually completing an installation of solar on a solar array on a school. And then there's kind of an other actions, which is kind of a grab all. If you have any questions or need some inspiration on what an action could be, like, please feel free to contact your team leader or Tish or Laura to have some inspiration on what those could be if you're trying to think outside the box. But for now, the only thing I want to kind of hit on is that since this is kind of new to us, we're still building out the way for you to see your own actions. So let's say you get 2 letters to the editor published and you log both of them here. There's not quite a way for you to go into your profile and see, oh, hey, I've written 2 letters to the editors. But rest assured, we are building that out. So go ahead and log those actions. When we do our reporting, it will be retroactive. So anything you do now, we will be able to show you guys in the future. That's just something that we're building out for the future. So again, just like all the other intro blocks, hit dismiss, and that'll hide that block for you. So that's the actions page. We'll go back to our dashboard, and you can see that now all of those actions that we have kind of told you guys to, this is the 4 things you want to do. Those have all been checked off. This box is still going to be here for a week, but that'll disappear after your week. So some things we didn't quite talk about that are of course important, but don't need a whole lot of explanation. You know, we have a blog that we post information to, so please stay abreast of that. The global events is where you can see global events. We showed you guys earlier team events, so that are specific to the New York team or the DC team. These are events that will be available kind of to everybody, especially those that don't have teams, but really anybody. And there's also global resources. So just like we had team resources, there's also global resources that we're providing for you to kind of help support you guys with whatever you need. And then the drop down for connect lets you adjust your account settings and message some other other members and do a global search. A lot of good things in there too. So so for the most part, you know, that's the Action Hub.